that was not. I created my time, I played a part in the plot. Thought is the cause, imagination's the dot. Get the picture? What is a week but days that we name? 7 in, 7 out, ways that we came. What is a month but calculating the moon? Pattern was what it was, we observed the rules. Invented calendars and made another tool. Ain't never did nothing.
What up, though? This is a 27 to 40 broadcast, and I am your host, Scorpio 313. 27 to 40 is simply giving it up to my completed prison sentence and remembering all of my comrades, men and women, still doing time in the belly of that beast right there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to deal with a little bit of the astrological crosses inside of relationships, and that's what this is going to be, a brief dealing with. Yours truly, Drake, our Scorpio representative, and Pusha T, our Taurus representative. Astrological crosses, what are those? Astrological crosses represents relationships that affects a person's soul. In other words, the relationship that someone have on an astrological cross is going to be impactful inside of their life. And astrological crosses comes in 3 basic formats. You have you have your cardinal cross, and your cardinal cross is representative right here with your Aries. Excuse me, let me clean that up for you right quick. So your cardinal cross is representing your signs that start the season. So it's Aries, and the sign is 90 degrees from that is Cancer, and the sign is 180 degrees from that is Libra, and that's the natural counterpart of Aries. And then you have Capricorn. After your cardinal cross, then you have your fixed cross, and your fixed cross is representative of Taurus and its natural counterpart, which is Scorpio, and Leo with this natural counterpart, which is Aquarius. And finally, you have your mutable cardinal cross, which is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Pretty much what you have all over here, right? Okay, so what is the significance of that? Inside of your crosses, these represents pretty much the relationships that people are gonna either be in love in, or they're gonna be in hate in. When you deal with astrology, the same thing that represents the marriage partner is the same thing that represents your open enemies. Some of the competition that we've had in history that's been monumental that reflects this is your Tupac and your Biggie, both of them being on the same cross, which is your mutable cross, signifying that Gemini sign. And just so we know, as a side note, when it comes to communication, lyrical genius, and writing and things of that nature, you have more of them that's representative from the mutable cross. And so you have your Tupac and your Biggie. And then another one that's on the mutable cross is your Jay-Z and your Kanye West. Two people that started off as partners, which in astrology, any type of partnership is a marriage, and then at some point became open combatants, or I don't want to say enemies. I don't want to put that negative energy on there, but they have open conflict and confrontation. And Jay-Z was representative of your Sagittarius, and Kanye was representative of your Gemini. Both of them are on the mutable cross. And another one that's might ring a bell on that has been your Nicki Minaj and your Remy Ma. Again, two people that's representative of your mutable cross. Nicki Minaj is coming from the Sagittarius mode, and Remy Ma, again, another Gemini, two phenomenal lyricists, and we're just showing how these mutable signs, your Gemini, your Virgo, your Sagittarius, and your Pisces, really had a handles on the skill. Another one that we can also name that's on that mutable cross that was open adversaries and at some point develop some type of partnership has been Jay-Z and Nas. Nas representative of Virgo and Jay-Z again representative of Pisces. And so you have your mutables showing that lyrical skill and everything else. But the matter at hand that we're dealing with today is dealing with Drake, who is our Scorpio representative, and then we have representative, and then we have Pusha T, which is our Taurus representative. Again, both on the same cross. Both of these are 180 degrees away from them, meaning that they are natural counterparts. So they will be in a marriage or they will be in an open conflict when they cross paths on an intimate level. One ultimately turns into both, and the bad can turn into the good can turn into bad. That's what we're talking about. Alchemy, which we have the power to do. Um, what we want to take a look at is Drake's chart. Inside of Drake's chart, we'll see that he has his third house, and I'm gonna do another video that really goes down on that. I just really want to give y'all a crash course on what's going on these. So Drake has all of this inside of water. He has water inside of his third, seventh, and his 11th house. Inside of his third house and part of his fourth house, he has his Mercury inside of Scorpio. He has his Venus inside of Scorpio, his Pluto inside of Scorpio, and his Sun inside of Scorpio. All of these are in the third house. And just so you know, you probably was like, well, he a nice MC too, and you didn't mention him when you was talking about the people with lyrical abilities and so forth. Well, the third house is also shows mutable. It's a mutable house, and so Gemini, it's the natural house of Gemini. So a person with their sun sign inside of the third house, you have to give them that communicative ability as well. And so this is where he come at. And interesting thing about Drake's chart is when we look at his rising sign. And looking at his rising sign, Drake has a Leo rising sign. And this Leo rising sign, let me go. I'll come back to that, but this Leo rising sign is the reason why he's a showman. You know, Leo rules more actors than any of the other signs that it is, you know. And so a big part of this conflict came in with what was the highlight? The highlight of this, and Leo also rules children. So the highlight of this conflict was the revelation of a child. How does Drake chart show this? Okay, well, if we look inside of Drake chart, inside of his 11th house represents your children or children of your partners and things of that nature. And then what's going on is his 11th house moon is making a opposition to Neptune inside of his fifth house. Neptune represents secrets, and the fifth house represents children. And so this whole little thing with them, which gave Pusha T the points, was the revelation of a secret child, which opposition is areas that you have to avoid self-undoing or blockage that can tend to get in your way. Personally, I don't think that it got inside of Drake's way. I think that this beef actually benefited him more than it benefited Pusha T, because it heightened the expectation of his record sales and he made it do what it do. One more thing that we want to look at before we move forward from Drake's part is the 12th house and the woman who is the mother of his child. Her son, she has a Leo sun sign, but her son is actually backed up inside of Drake's 12th house. And our 12th house has that Neptune energy, and it represents our secrets. And so to a person that studies astrology is no um secret, or no wonder, or no amazement, or no amusement as to why she plays the part that she was, and why she wasn't revealed like she would have if she had been on the first house or the seventh house, anywhere else. She was a secret, something that he wasn't trying to really get into like that. All right, so look at Pusha T's chart. While we don't have Pusha T's birth time, what we do have is his birth date, which gives us pretty much where his planets are at. And when you look at his planets and everything, a big part that you want to look at is what he has going on inside of fire. I got a better chart right here that we can actually look at. We want to see all of this stuff that Pusha T has going on in fire. He has his moon in Aries, he has his Mars in Aries, and he has his Venus in Aries. But he also has his Saturn that's inside of Leo, and he has his Neptune that's inside of Sagittarius. Now let's put this together and see how it plays. Aries way, the moon represents our emotions, and Mars, that's how we battle, and Venus represents what we have affection at, and how we receive affection and things of that nature. All of this for Pusha T is inside of Aries. Aries is one that is direct, straightforward, is not holding no punches, it's going straight at the jugular and so forth. Um, and so he's going to come across far more aggressive than Drake come across. Whereas Drake, Drake has his stuff going on inside of Scorpio. That's his natural sun sign, and Scorpio is not a direct sign. Scorpio works behind enemy lines. Scorpio is going to be more strategic than Aries is. So right now it looks like Drake is, I mean, that like Pusha T smashed him, which Pusha T had a hell of a round, smashed the hell out of him. He didn't respond with his name. I hoped that he would, but I didn't really expect him to. It's understandable, being that he's working out of that Scorpio energy. But this the part that you don't want to sleep on right here. How does he battle? Let me fix that. How does Drake battle? Well, Drake Mars, which rules how we battle, is inside of Aquarius. So Aquarius shocks the hell out of you and blow you up when it shocks you. When you think about Aquarius, think about electrical explosions and things of that nature, but surprise. When you get shocked by something, you wasn't planning to get shocked. It seemed like that stuff come out of nowhere, and that's the way that Mars and in Aquarius battles. And so, for anybody that's wondering if this beef was over, and what it's going to go to and so forth. First of all, both of these gentlemen are on a fixed cross, and the fixed cross is slow to come to heads. That's why we heard all of this sneak dissing for years before the whole Kanye West thing, this sneak dissing and everything for years, and then it reached a boiling point to where it popped off and they was into it. Fixed signs are known for being stubborn and not really letting things go. Neither one of these men are going to let that go. It's to reach the point where they're not going to let it go. And then the injuries that, yeah, I call them injuries, but the assaults that Drake took became personal. And so for that Scorpio energy, they're not going to let the personal stuff go. And people saying that he don't have an issue with Pusha T and so forth. Well, when Pusha T said what he did about his mother, and looking at all of this energy that Drake got inside of his fourth house, which rules the mother. You know, he has a whole lot of energy there. His Virgo there, his thoughts and everything is there. That's why many of his lyrics is often about that. He's not gonna let that go. Right now he's dealing with the Kanye West thing, because Kanye West is the person who did the ultimate betrayal for him, and that betrayal is worse than that violation that Pusha T did, because Pusha T didn't have an obligation to him. But the betrayal is something that he wants to deal with first. So after he finished obliterating him, then he'll come back to address the Pusha T thing. And while neither one of the gentlemen are dealing with the thing that might be a spoiler, that could possibly be a spoiler with Pusha T, is the response. One, when you're dealing with Aries, although Aries is quick to go into battle, you know, Aries don't really have legs. So Aries often end up um, finishing the battle before it's over. An example of that would be your Suge Knight. You know, started off when he was in there, he was straight at you, running over people, you know, accused of hanging people out the window and all kind of stuff. But once his flames began to get extinguished, he quickly dissipated. The reason why Pusha T may not quickly dissipate is because he still has that fixed energy, and that's not really going nowhere too quick. However, um, he being at Taurus and looking and seeing how his speech right here, which is his speech is partly ruled by Mercury. And what is his Mercury doing? His Mercury is forming a square to Saturn. And so when you look at that Mercury forming a square to Saturn, Saturn deadens things. And so his communication about this could possibly become deadened for a moment. It would be easier if we had his time so we can really see what's going to come of it and so forth, you know. But and Taurus ruling the voice, Taurus got a tendency of giving you the silent treatment, so it's possible that he may not even respond but immediately, but ultimately he will, and because he's in it for the long haul. Both of these gentlemen are. I will give a longer one for our students of astrology. This pretty much just a crash course from your 27 to 40 station. And on an end note, I would like to say, send some people that you love in prison some positive energy. You know, sometimes you might not have to send any money, but a picture or something to let them know that they haven't been forgotten in the world where they are currently being caged up. I ask for you to subscribe to the video or hit your like button. And if not, then just stay tuned. And once you start seeing videos that you like and I start getting the hang of this technology stuff, then maybe you'll subscribe then. But the door is definitely open. And also, on an end note, for the ones of you who's going to stick around, I do have a crazy ex with 1,000 different fake Facebook names harassing the hell out of me, who due to the principles and everything that I subscribe to, I have not sent their ass to jail yet, you know, for but just ignore, you know, or y'all can indulge. It really don't matter to me. I learned how to ignore. Y'all have a good one, and remember, love is the only savior of the world. Ain't no sense in hating.